Our guest today is a culinary wizard with a passion for creating dishes that are as beautiful to look at as they are delicious to taste. With over a decade of experience in the culinary industry and a flair of innovation, she has won the hearts of food lovers across the world. With her infectious energy and contagious enthusiasm, she's a force to be reckoned with in the culinary world. From being a popular actress to hosting one of the longest running cooking shows, she inspires foodies of all ages to get creative in the kitchen and experiment with new flavors and techniques. It is an absolute pleasure, chef, to welcome someone who's sprinkling the mummy ka magic in our kitchens through her healthy dishes since years now. Everyone, please join me in welcoming the one and only Chef Amrita Raichand. Thank you, Chef, once again.
Such a beautiful introduction. Thank you so much.
So let me start with the questions. And, I want to start with your life story. It serves as such a beautiful example for so many people who believe that, if you shiddat se agar aap chaho, then you'll get what you want. And your journey started from Jamshedpur, Dhanbad. I myself am from Ranchi.
Yes,
so I know these are such small cities, and you also started from there. So could you tell us how that small town life shaped your journey?
तो पहले तो बोल दूं कि डायमंड तो कोयले से ही उभरता है. No humility there. No, but I am very, very, very proud of my background. I'm very proud of where I come from. I think who I am today is thanks to all the values, all the learnings of my childhood, and it's an honor that I have been able to. I belong there. Obviously, circumstances took me there. I was born in Jamshedpur. My father was with Tisco, and then my mother took over after he passed on. But she moved to a smaller town than Jamshedpur. I went to a convent school, and I grew up in Dhanbad, in a smaller town called Jamaduba, which was the mini Jamshedpur. But I think everything of my life started from there. Dancing, whether it's cooking, whether it's being on stage in school, even studying for that matter. I mean, till the 8th standard, I was only interested in extracurricular activities. But then one day my mother turned around and said, you're just not interested in studies, which is fine because as a single parent, this is all I could do. I could not help you in your studies. So what can I do? She just knew exactly the button to press. And that was the day I said, now I will not let my mother down. And then from being a 5 on 20 student, I became a 20 on 20 student. And I went and did quite well in my 10th standard, my boards. Those days I got 86%, which I think was quite a bit then. So yeah, I'm very, very proud of where I come from.
Yeah. The values that these, I think, small towns give, they just stay with us forever, and I think those shape you as a person.
Small towns is that we are so close knit, and everybody helps each other. ये नहीं कि neighbor को तुम्हारा नाम ही नहीं पता. यहाँ पे तो ऐसा है, in spite of the fact that my mom was, a single mom, and she used to go to work, but she knew I was safe. If she would get late from work, she's like, "Acha, Meenu auntie ke yahan chale jana, ya bhaiya ke ghar chale jana, ya whatever." And I would go, and evenings we would all get together. I was just telling my husband that it used to be so nice. We had a beautiful park in the middle of our colony. Everybody used to come there, play badminton, walk. And every time I would go to a neighbor's house, they'd be cooking because those days there was no staff. So all my cooking I've learned from my mom and from my neighbors, only watching them how to cook,
Yeah, no, that's so good. And your journey from Jamshedpur to Singapore, that has also been like extraordinary. And in the process, you battled so many stereotypes, right? Broken glass ceilings. You enrolled yourself in culinary school in Singapore as a mother. How hard was it in order to take that step and going against the conventional way of leading a life?
I think here I'm going to try and compliment, I will compliment my husband because he helped me. You're absolutely right. After becoming so I was always into cooking. I had the love, the passion, and like I said, I started cooking. I cooked my first meal when I was 8 years old. So cooking was always like my second nature, but I had never really thought of it in a professional angle. And by the time I came to Mumbai, I automatically started doing ad films. I became the face of Whirlpool home appliances, and one after the other ads kept happening. So I didn't really think of pursuing cooking in a professional way. It was, and we Indians, हम तो माँ के पेट से, women भी पेट से सीख के आते हैं cooking, most of us, at least in my time. So obviously it was definitely something that was not a part of my professional setup. Even after Dhanbad, I went to Sanaa, Lawrence School, Sanaa, to study, and I was in a boarding school, and there I was the one who actually started the school cafeteria because I was the #1 student of home science, again cooking. But still, I never thought of taking it up professionally till Agastya was born, and that is when I took a sabbatical from work because I any case wanted to be a mother since I was 19 years old. And I was playing the roles of mother since I was 19 years old. But when finally I had my mother, when I became a mother, actually, I just wanted to be around my son. And then when I started weaning him and I started introducing different foods to him, and I started figuring out that this is what I really want to do. And when Mamika Magic happened, I was Amrita Raichand cooking healthy food for my son Agastya, and there was no pretense there. I was not playing anybody else. I was playing myself. And I just told my husband over a walk on US Club that, this is what I think I should do, because so many mothers keep calling me or messaging me, or when I meet them in various places, they keep saying that they love my recipes and they learn so much from it. So I said that, I wish I could have done a culinary course, because if I need to take this as a profession, I'd rather go about it the right way. I've never been to a culinary school. So he said, what's stopping you? And I was like, what do you mean, what's stopping me? I have a baby. So he says, and I'm the father, in case you're forgetting. And I have my parents who we all live with, my in-laws are there. So I said, he says, go. And therefore, I think I have my husband to thank for. And since we're talking to the youth, this is the big message I want to say, that stereotypes are created in our head. Like, I thought I cannot make that move,
Absolutely.
but my husband broke that stereotype for me. And that's the way we need to live life. We need to take each day as it comes, and we need to play the role that is demanded of us as we keep facing life.
Absolutely. I mean, it's so, how they say, and talking about stereotypes, when right now, because of the pandemic, you see a lot of home chefs which are women who've come up and who've taken the spotlight, and that's really lovely to see. But when you started, was it a little different? Was it still seen as a male-dominated place? And then did you have to navigate that as well as a female chef?
I'm still navigating that as a female chef. Even though there are many chefs around, I still definitely feel there is male dominance. I feel male chefs are still looked as the real chefs, unfortunately, even though maa ghar mein khana banati hai. And every time a woman is a chef, I feel she is praised more for her looks, her style, rather than her food. And that bugs me at times. So there are instances of that happening even now. But I am the kind of person who feels that, your work has to talk. You don't need to talk. So, and this will happen everywhere. It's a part of every industry. Everybody, has a certain notion, and we have to keep fighting it. And we have to, I don't even usually address this question, but I'm addressing it because, again, we're talking to the youth of our country, and I just feel that you're the future of our country, and it's really important for you to know that there is nothing that a woman cannot do. There is nothing that a man cannot do. I once got into a controversy many years ago after my marriage, when I was in an interview like this. Those days there were more TV interviews on a very popular show, and they asked me, says, what do you feel about your husband in some context? And I said, my husband is my God. And there was a big, furor. How can you call him God? You're one of those old generation people. I said, no, I'm not an old generation. I'm a highly educated young generation. I work, I go out, I work. It's not that. But your husband has to be like God for you to call him God. And there is no harm in saying that my husband is amazing if he is amazing. The problem is when you call him amazing when he's not amazing. When he puts you down, like my journey shows it all. I have not stopped working for one day after getting married. Forget getting married, not even after having a baby. There have been times when I have late night shoots. There have been times when I have traveled, and nobody's even ever, not that they're supposed to question me, but going by what happens in the world, nobody's done that. So why should I not praise my husband, who has the panache, who has the confidence, who loves me enough to make me feel so good? And that's what I feel we all need to work towards. There's really nothing about what a woman can do. And even when Agastya was born, I was home for 2 years changing diapers, and my husband would run down because he couldn't bear the smell. But now again, I didn't get into that whole feminism thing that, why is he not changing? If he does not like the smell and he's going to throw up on my son, I'd rather he goes and sleeps in another room. Right. So, but there were other ways in which he would make up. And today he spends more time with him, taking him for football. So there is I don't think we need to have a competition. We need to recognize what is happening around us. When there is unfair practices happening, you need to stand up against it. And I do that. I recognize it. It's not like I'm blind to what is going on. But I'm like, okay, it is what it is. You find your own path, you do your own work, and you carry on.
So very well said, Chef. It's not about competition, but it's about being equal partners in this journey. So good to hear that you've had that in your life, and I think that is what people should. Social media today has such a distorted way of how you should your partner should be, and this feminism, the misconstrued way of feminism, of what feminism
I don't think it's social media to blame. It's what we want to see. There are also great things happening on social media, right?
Yeah.
So it's also our way of perceiving people, our way of perceiving the posts that we see. I keep telling my people, you see a lot of happy posts of mine, but I have bad days. I have terrible days and I'm pulling my hair, I'm fighting with my husband, I'm fighting with my mother-in-law, I'm fighting with my son. So I am a normal human being. It's just that you don't see that. My life is not, my camera is not on when that is happening. So don't get fooled by only what you see. Enjoy the good parts, understand the negative, and make your own wise decision as to how you want to go about it.
Absolutely, Chef. And Chef, over the years, I'm sure you've reached now, but there must be a moment which was kind of life defining and changing for you. What would that moment or that instance be for you?
See, there have been 2-3 moments like that. One was at age 8 when I cooked an entire meal for my mother on my own. I just called my neighbor to turn the gas on. I made dal, chawal, aloo ka bhujia, tomato ki chutney.
At the age of 8.
At the age of 8. That's when my mom knew that I can cook really well. Then there was a moment, when I gave my first TED talk. And I've given 3 TED talks. And when I gave my first one, I went through the whole gamut of emotions of why I am doing what I'm doing. And I would urge all your viewers to watch at least the first 2 TED talks of mine. The first one talks about, food equation between food and children. Mm-hmm. And the second one is about my life journey and how food played a really important part in every aspect of my journey. And why I'm saying these TED Talks, because, when you give a TED Talk, you write your talk and you contemplate and you introspect and you take that time. It takes good, they book you like 3 months in advance and it takes you so much time and read up. It really makes you look inside you and realize the why of what you're doing. And I think these TED Talks made me realize that what I'm doing is definitely definitely for two reasons. One is to be near my son, because my whole chef's journey revolves around cooking for my child, being near my child and doing everything. And the other thing is to contribute to the society and help mothers, help people realize that healthy need not be boring. You can do healthy, you can make healthy food, and you can make it in a fun way, and you can, actually enjoy it. I need to break that stereotype, because I mean, you all see me. I'm not a scrawny little girl. I eat everything, and but I have a healthy lifestyle. So I think these two moments were really defining moments in my life, where I think you always need to know why you're doing what you're doing. And when you get that answer and it resonates with what you like, what you're passionate about, I think then you know you're on the right path.
Yeah. Finding your purpose
Yes.
in what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. And you found your purpose in making healthy food fun.
Yes.
And you've always said that eating should not feel like a war. But in today's fast-paced life, eating, it may not be war, but it's definitely a race. Picking up burgers and just fast food and just going on with our lives. The quick bite on the run, that has become our lifestyle now. What is your opinion on fast food, and can fast food be healthy?
I completely change my perspective of answering this question. We're talking to the youth of our country. We're talking to the future of our country. What I want to tell you is this is something I started advocating many, many years ago. But only when COVID happened, people realized the value of what I was saying. I always said, and why I do easy recipes, why do I focus on easy recipes, healthy recipes? Because at the end of the day, cooking cannot be a chore for you. Unless you really love cooking and you don't like, I can be in the kitchen for like 12 hours and I will not look tired, because I love it. But for somebody who may not be that passionate about cooking, cooking is still a survival skill. In fact, I'm coming up with this series for youth, and including my son, because I feel that, you can be an MBA, you can be in Harvard, you can be wherever, but if you don't know how to cook, you missed out on a very, very big skill in life. And so the answer to your question is, it's not about what is healthy, what is unhealthy. It's about, have you cooked it yourself? You're saying the problem with today's time is that we don't have time. But what if you plan it well? What if you cook your meals, put it in little boxes, put it in the fridge, label them? You want to run to work, you want to run to college, you want to run to your classes, pick that up and leave. But you made it with your own hands. You got good ingredients that you put in there. Even if you make a burger, even if you make a sandwich, even if you make hakka noodles for that matter, you've added some veggies in it. You've made it with the sauces that you've bought. You're not depending on some other cook who's at his place been doing this and reusing the oil, God alone knows how many times. I'm talking for day-to-day cooking. We all love going out. I love going out, and once in a while going out, indulging, even street food, everything is great. I'm talking about day-to-day cooking, day-to-day. There are some people who only depend on running. Oh, I have fast food. Bhago, lunch ke liye, arey burger utha lo. Arey vada pav utha lo. Make that vada pav at home, na. It's not tough at all. If you just understand the basics. So I have a very close friend of mine whose daughter has just gone into medical school. She came to me, and for 1 month she trained with me. Masi, I mean 1 month as in once a week in a month. But that's all the time she could give me. But in that she learned so much. She said, but Masi, how can it be so lovely? How can it be so tasty? I've made it. I said, that's not so tasty because you have made it.
Yeah.
And now she actually cooks. She buys her vegetables on the weekend. She prepares her, because she says, the whole week I don't get the time. So I said, do it over the weekend. Do it. You have a fridge, you have a freezer, store it. That's your fast food. Pick it up and leave.
Yeah. And now we'd all be waiting for the new series that you promised us.
Yes. I don't want to give away the name yet. Because
I was just going to ask that.
So I am coming up with a great series. I already have a series called Hostel Diaries, which is up on YouTube, which has again very fun, easy recipes for youth. and for anybody who lives alone and wants to cook. So definitely you can check out my YouTube channel, Amrita Raichand, Chef and Beyond. I would love all of you to subscribe to it. There are some fun recipes. There are also toddler recipes and bacha recipes, but there are a lot of other recipes which...
I think the hostel recipes is something that is going to be very useful for this
Yes, yes. And I'm coming up with a new series of in similar lines, and I will definitely share that link with you all when it's ready.
Please. And Shad, when you're coming up with these recipes, all these healthy recipes which are still fun, what is the creative process that goes behind it? I mean, we know your son is your inspiration, but could you walk us through the process of
become a pain now, because he used to be an inspiration. Now he's my biggest critic. So actually, in a way, it works, because if he likes my food or likes something that I have made for him or experimented with, then the whole world will like it, because he's a real number when it comes.
He's your guinea pig.
Actually, I'm very happy and very proud of him, because he's the only one in my family, in this side of the family, who has a good palate. Like, he'll actually take time to taste things. He'll taste things like a chef. It's like as a master chef is going on in my house. He'll take his time, chew it. I can taste something tangy, nice, whatever you... And so I love it, because at least किसी को तो समझ आ रहा है कि what.
Otherwise, everybody is just hogging on to the food.
Yeah. They're all just going on about it. I said, just give me 2 minutes feedback. No, but what I think goes in it, the first thing that I look for is ease of preparation. The second thing I look for is presentation. Like, I feel that it's important. We all know that we first eat with our eyes. So if anything you present beautifully, it kind of appeals. But the presentation should not be so difficult or be complicated or even so intimidating that then you don't want to eat it. So it just, let's put it this way, it should be a beautiful plate of food. So those are the two things that I really focus on. And then my main motto, which I said always, is healthy is not boring, junk to jewels. I try and put the jewel of health in junk food. So I'll make a pizza, but I'll add some ragi ka atta in the base. I'll add some veggies in the sauce. I will make a bhel, but I will add broccoli to it, and I'll do a broccoli bhel. So I'll do a beetroot cake, a pasta cake. So it'll be still a pasta, but it'll be a cake with beetroot in it. So really, it's just so you first think of what your child or what you like. Okay, then you think of what you want them to have. So what do you like? And then you combine the two in a way that looks pretty. And it's not that tough. Trust me.
It's just taking something tasty and adding the jewel of health in it.
Yes. And it's very easy, because you already have the foundation of a good recipe.
Yeah.
So you like vada pav. Now vada pav to वैसे भी healthy है. उसमें कुछ नहीं, आलू है और बेसन है, and you deep fried it. Now when you deep fry at home, it's not unhealthy, because it's flash cooking. You put it and quickly take it out. Then you take it out on an absorbent paper, all the oil has come out, right? But the same thing when you eat it as thela wala. He has been using that oil again and again and again and again. That's not good, right? But then even in a vada pav, you can add some veggies. You can add little sweet potato, mix of regular potato, sweet potato. Both are equally healthy. It's not like one is healthier than the other, but both have different qualities. Both have different nutrients. One has more fiber, one has more antioxidants. So you can just mix, match things. Even in non-vegetarian dishes, you can really, you can do a lot of exciting things.
But Chef, you covered healthy ingredients. We would also love to know the Sureshot ingredients for success that you would give out to the youth of this country.
I think nothing beats an honest intention, integrity, and hard work. I think if you have these three things, you set your goal. See, even I'll tell you, I work the hardest now than I ever did. In my modeling days, I used to just get a call, oh, you're shooting for Whirlpool, oh, you're shooting for a cream. And I don't want to take all the brands' names. But now, since the time I've become a chef, I've also done a whole, nutrition study from Cognizance. I went to Singapore, I did an advanced culinary course. I came back to Mumbai, I joined Intercontinental Hotel, and I worked in their commercial kitchen for 6 months. Nobody asked me to do all of this, but like I said, when I decided that this is going to be something I take up professionally, and my idea was to teach people, my idea was to impart knowledge to people. I was like, I need to have as much knowledge as I gain before I can impart it. And even today, I wake up most of the times, unless there is a calamity, at 5:30 in the morning. I do my research. I figure out what I need to do for the week, for the day. I write. I'm working on a book, so I write. But all of that in the morning, I work out. It is hard work, but because I love it, it doesn't feel like hard work. But it is hard work. Let's face it. It's not like, I can do what I want to. When I go out with my friends, like my friends say, oh, you barely come out with me. I have to plan it. I have to ensure that I'm doing it over the weekend so that I don't spoil my week. Weekdays, I barely go for lunches because, it takes away from a big chunk. So I'm not saying don't live a life. I'm also at a certain age where I can do all of this. You're like young, much younger. And of course, you need to party, you need to do your thing. But if you really want to achieve a goal, first set a goal, then really work hard towards it and do it with honesty. Don't do it to make money. Don't do it to have a Porsche. Do it because you want to do well in what you're doing. And the Porsche and the money and the holidays will all follow. So that's why integrity and honesty of intention is very important.
And it's so true, Chef, especially to the audience that you're speaking to today, because this generation has become a generation that wants instant gratification. Hai na? They want to become content creators. There's nothing wrong in it, but they want that instant fame. They want their put up a post, get those likes, make the money, and party. That is what a lot of young people would want today. Yeah. But it's important that it doesn't come like this. Like success doesn't come like this. It may come.
You also have to have short-term and long-term goals. If you're doing this, fine. This is what you do and you're enjoying it, fine. But no, that this is a short-term goal. You also need to have a long-term goal because, and what happens is, like you said, the word instant. I have been working since I was 18 years old. And I'm not going to give you my age, but I am much older than that now. I still feel like I'm 18 years old. That's
you look 18.
I don't look 18. Now don't push it. Maybe 25. But what I'm trying to say is that I tell my son also, I said, abhi zindagi bahut lambi hai. You have a lot, by God's grace, if you have health and a good lifespan, life is long. If you get everything too early in life, there is no hunger. So it's not like you don't want it. You shouldn't get everything early, but don't crave for that. Go slow, enjoy the pace, enjoy the journey as much as you enjoy the goal. Because frankly, once you achieve the goal, your mind will immediately start looking for another goal. But the enjoyment that happens in that journey, all through success, through failures, through everything, that is something that's worth cherishing. So enjoy that journey and do it slow. Take it slow, each day at a time.
Enjoy the journey and you'll then end up enjoying the goal much more.
Absolutely. And like I said, once you reach the goal, you want another goal. Because we are greedy, right? We want so many things. So just work towards it slowly but surely, with the honest intention, one day at a time. सब हो जाएगा अपने टाइम पे.
Chef, going to the next question, what would your message be to aspiring chefs? Do you see a gap in culinary world that you would want them to fill in, or just your message or the skills that you would want them to have?
I think to be a good chef, you need the 3 P's in life. Passion, perseverance, patience. I think these 3 things are really, really, really important. if you want to become a good chef, because being a chef needs a lot of patience. You can't say, "Fatapat khana bana ke." Even if I have an easy recipe, it's a process. You have to enjoy it. You enjoy the process. And things take time. Sometimes you'll take 3 rounds of trying a recipe to crack that good recipe. I've done it all the time. I still do it. I may be a great chef for you all, but I know what it goes to crack certain recipes. You know, I've had like 2-3 trials and errors, and I try all my recipes on my own. So I don't have like a team of 10 people trying it for me. But that's where patience comes in. And perseverance. You have to keep at it. Keep going on and on and on. And yeah, I think these are the 3 really, really important skills. If you develop these, and obviously nothing happens without passion. You have to really enjoy it, because then all that hard work feels so worth it. So if you have these 3 P's, you can become a good chef.
Those are the magic ingredients.
Yeah, actually, while talking to you, I thought of it, but now I think they should become my mantra. What did I say? Perseverance?
Passion, perseverance, patience.
Yes. Write it down so I don't forget.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to make that my motto.
No, absolutely. Guys, for recipes, you have to log on to our YouTube channel. You will get it there.
Not only log on, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You don't have to pay for it. Subscribe to it. Follow me on Instagram, on Facebook. And I'll keep sharing my recipes. And if you all ever need any help, please DM me. I'm that one person on every social media platform that actually responds to my comments, to my DMs. I very often send voice notes out. If somebody's trying my recipe and they're stuck somewhere, I'll quickly send them a voice note. I might not be able to immediately send it to you, but on a day-to-day basis, I actually respond to as many DMs and as many messages and as many comments that I get. So please feel free to reach out to me, and I will be there to help.
So sweet. That's so sweet. And that's how we reached out to you, and you were so kind enough to accept our invitation to do this conversation.
Not at all. Not at all. Anything for the youth, because that's the future.
So sweet. But we've taken up a lot of your time, but this is something that we do at the end of the session, wherein we give you a few words and we ask you to tell the first thing that comes to your mind. So it's like a quick rapid fire. Yeah?
Done.
So, your favorite cuisine?
Japanese, and that's the only food I do not cook. Disclaimer.
I love
a public confession.
Yeah. Your favorite ingredient to cook with?
There are many ingredients that I love to cook with. I love a lot of herbs. So I like to use a lot of fresh herbs in my cooking. So you could call them my favorite. You'll always find a stack of herbs in my fridge, and when I have a conducive environment in plants. So I actually use the fresh rosemary, thyme, basil. I love these herbs. Coriander, just fresh coriander.
Dhanbad.
Beautiful childhood.
Bharatnatyam.
My other passion besides cooking. I've done my Arangetram also. I've done 16 years of Bharatnatyam.
Wow. Your son.
My everything.
Mumbai.
A place that gave me all the opportunities and made me who I am today. I love
street food.
Street food, Mumbai. You don't get better street food anywhere else than Mumbai.
Yeah. Youth.
The future of this country.
And I'm on this platform.
The platform that develops all the youth and makes the future of this country.
Thank you so much.
Big congratulations to you all for the work you're doing, and really bravo, really great. My son has also participated in a couple of I.I.M.U.N.
Oh, lovely.
Yes, yeah. And I've known this platform personally in many ways, and I really feel that the work y'all are doing and the way y'all engage youth to have the debates, to perform, you're making great leaders out of them. You're giving them the confidence to come on stage, to talk to people they don't know. I think it's a brilliant platform. Brilliant. So please keep up the good work.
Thank you, Chef. And thank you for your kind words, and thank you for being so candid, for this conversation. I